5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are live, you are live.
Welcome to the Sunset Safari, and that elephant's being a little bit tricky, disappearing. And my name is Brent Leo Smith. I have Wium back from leave on camera with me. There's the Ellie. And we are out in Djuma Private Game Reserve. There's Sam and Dangerous Dave out on the other vehicle. Now, and Rebecca and Geraldine in final control. Now, Wium and I will be attempting the near impossible on this Sunset Safari. So before I went on leave last time, Wium and I did something we like to name Border Patrol. And we did that, and we covered the whole of the Djuma border and the Arathusa border. And we saw lion, leopard, elephant, and buffalo. So we're now going to try the extended Border Patrol. We've come from the gate, which is there, right top corner of the Sabi Sands. We're going to be turning around and going back behind us and doing first the northern and eastern boundaries of Djuma before heading towards Cheetah Plains, attempting the boundaries of Cheetah Plains before heading back and trying to do the outside of the Arathusa boundary. So hopefully this evening's Border Patrol will be as successful as the last. It also does give us a good chance to check if anything's come in or out of the reserve during the day. It has been quite a cool day at the moment. It's warmed up a bit. It's about 28 degrees Celsius, 74 Fahrenheit. And hopefully we find a track. Of course, Border Patrol will be cancelled by any form of potentially wonderful sighting. So fingers crossed. So while we continue on our Border Patrol, let's go see what Sam's got.
Good afternoon to the safari with Dave and Sam. We'll be taking you around the bush this afternoon. We are here with a steenbok. As you can see, it's a male steenbok with the horns there. We've been sitting quite quietly here for 2 minutes, and it's slowly but surely come closer and closer to us. So very, very excited to start our drive with a steenbok, and it's great to start with a steenbok because we are able to listen to what might be around us at the moment. We've switched off the vehicle and just gently watched the steenbok from a distance to maybe hear if there is any alarm calls in the distance from any predators, but more importantly, just to see the behavior of this little steenbok and is there a female around. So, as we know, with steenboks, they are monogamous, but having a look at what we're seeing here before we go look for the other one, have a look at that background and that fantastic array of clouds in the distance behind the trees. So we are in for a bit of a pressure system that seems to be coming in. If you just slowly, gently take it that way, you'll see that the clouds are coming in quite rapidly over there. There they are. They're pulling in. So it's raining in most other parts of the country, and hopefully we'll be able to take you at least a couple hours into the drive before it decides to rain. But if it rains, it'll be very, very good for the bush because, you know, they need them. Those watering holes need some water. But we still are in sight of this steenbok over here. So it's just behind the tree there. And we're going to follow it slowly but surely. And I'm quite glad that it's become comfortable with us being here. As we know, the steenbok doesn't like to sit around and relax when the vehicles are here. And this one's just starting to browse and graze. Well, mainly browse, as you can see there. And there's another one. So that's the male with the horns. And we're going to slowly but surely drift forward to see maybe, is there a female around here? So let's go a little bit to the left here. Let's see if we can see anything. There's our male steenbok. Is there a female out here with him? The dude. It's a cool name. The dude. What time is it in South Africa? The time is approximately 3 minutes, probably 3:03, because we started at 3 o'clock. So that is the time, the dude. 3:05. Thank you, Rebecca. Rebecca just let us know. So that is the time. We're just looking here to see if there's a steenbok, and we know what predator loves to eat a steenbok. It is a leopard. So that's why spending some time just to see and observing the behavior of the steenbok will tell us if there's anything happening in this area. James Richards got quite a list going there. James, I really do want to find a jackal. I know that I've said that I've wanted to find jackal. I don't even want to talk about jackal anymore. I'm not going to talk about it until I see them. But I have been going into the areas like Arathusa and the many places that we might find them. So we'll drive towards the airstrip a little bit later to see if we can catch up on a jackal. But we know that Brent is basically circling the perimeter, and Brent is fantastic on tracks. That's the way in which he likes to find his animals. He's going to be going around the whole perimeter. Let's go actually see what's happening at Treehouse Dam. This is where we were earlier, having a look at 2 buffaloes. And James and Aaron, if Aaron's also there, and any other viewer that wants to build the bird list, we'll see what we can do this afternoon. I know Dave's the cameraman, so whenever I'm on a vehicle with Dave, we just spot things. I don't know how it happens. Well, Dave's just got really good abilities to see into the distance there. So not only is he a great cameraman, but he's a great pair of binoculars behind me.
Got a good camera.
So we should see what we can find. But just to let everyone know, I looked up and researched the thing on the whiteback vulture last night, and it will be on my page on Facebook, the Rewild page. You can look up and see what information I found on the vulture last night. That there was 1 or 2 questions. And even that thing that we spoke about this morning about monocular and binocular vision, I've posted something there just to give you a diagram that helps you understand what monocular and binocular vision is. So thank you for all your feedback that I get online from you. It really makes a difference to both the learning of us out here. You know, it's fascinating. It really is fascinating. So when we were here earlier, there was quite a few tracks of elephants. There is tracks of elephants going down to the watering hole. So we might just be in for some elephants. So there don't seem to be that many. I came here the other day and there were so many tracks of elephants pretty much everywhere. Huge breeding herds, and I don't know how Brent saw 2 breeding herds of buffalo this morning. I didn't see, we just saw those 2 buffalo, huh? And I bet you they're probably still in that watering hole. They didn't look very comfortable with each other down by the watering hole. The other one was telling the other, please get off my land. So we're nearly there. Hold on tight, we're going to come round. Maybe there'll be a ground nesting bird, a water bird that we might be able to locate and see and get those bird lists going. It is going to be tougher filling in the bird lists as we go into the winter season with all the migrants leaving, but that just makes it that much better. There's a lot of dung in the road here. Always got to be careful of riding over dung because there might be some beautiful looking dung beetles in there. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go around that next corner over there. We shall be at Treehouse Dam. Start looking over here. We'll look in this direction. See if you can see anything. I like to come slowly towards the watering holes just in case we might scare something off. And often we come through the watering holes and all sorts of things will run away. So when you get the camera there, it just makes it that much easier for you to spot something as well as me. At the moment, I'm seeing quite a dry river, or sorry, quite a dry watering hole there. potentially there will be some birds. So those two buffaloes that were here are no longer here. Let's just go down. So here's a Blacksmith plover. So we've got one bird, but we've seen that before. So let's sort of take a distance and just see what birds here. And so the Blacksmith plover gets that name for that clinking sound that it makes when it flies, or when the noise that it makes. Blacksmith plover. Often finds it by the waterine areas, but there is a funny other bird. It looks like there's another Blacksmith plover, but you'll have to follow. Dave, I'm going to get you in another position where it looks like it's laying an egg. Well, it's not laying, it's lying on eggs. So, let's see if I can get you in a position there. So if you look at this Blacksmith plover here, yeah, and then just directly behind it, you'll see another one lying in the ground, just to the right of it now. So there you go. If you have a look, you'll just see it now. It's in the center of the screen. There it is. So that seems to be a Blacksmith plover that is in the ground there. It could be lying on eggs. Quite interesting. I've never seen a plover so low to the ground there. Interesting. Could very well be. So that's also, you have to be careful going off-road because there's a lot of birds that will be ground nesting and they'll lay their eggs on the ground. Sometimes there's the possibility of riding over some eggs, so you've always got to be careful. Let's just see what else might be down by the watering hole in terms of birds. Go to the river that, please Dave, go down to the left of the water hole there. There's a bird walking through there. So it's a ringneck dove there, which you've seen. It seems to be quite barren down there. There we go. Just hear the sound of that Blacksmith plover. Okay, so there's no other birds down here. Just a beautiful look of those clouds. As you can see, there's a dramatic entrance of what looks like a lower pressure system coming into the area, which I hope brings rain. Let's just pray for some rain, everyone. Otherwise, we might just have to do a rain dance later. Okay, so we're going to go down towards another watering hole, see if we can find anything that might be lurking there. In the meantime, let's go and see how Brent's doing out in the bush.
So far, boundary patrol is proving quite quiet, but it is early days yet. Keeping a sharp lookout for any tracks. So the Nkuhumas crossed into Torchwood this morning, but only a single Birmingham and a single lioness, which they think were from the Nkuhuma Pride, were found. So who knows where the other four ladies might be. James Richard is hoping for leopard, or Wium and I, to find a leopard. So are we, James. And hopefully it'll be a leopard we haven't seen or haven't seen for a while. We are going to head down towards Cheetah Plain, so there's always a chance that Mr. Quarantine could be around. Now, when it comes to the lion front, there was a big breeding herd of buffalo on Cheetah Cut Line. And I'm hoping that might have pulled the lions back. Well, we will see. Checking every single big elephant path, the animal path that crosses the road. One of those strange days with weather. It's been cold, then warm, then cold. I think it's going to get quite nippy this evening. So far, lots of sign of elephants, but no actual elephant just yet. Apart from the one, of course, that we started with at Sydney's waterhole. Now, I quite often find tracks of a male leopard in this area that are normally from that unrelaxed male called Djuma. So he does move around quite a bit during the day, so it's always worth slowing down a little bit through this section. Wow, that is not a healthy looking impala. Oh, and there's an elephant behind it. Ooh. That is a very sickly looking baby from this year. You can see it's got quite a heavy tick infestation on its neck. And I think a combination of a heavy tick infestation and the lack of palatable food around. You can hear the other impala not too far away. And that is a seriously sickly looking little ewe. Forward a bit. And you can just make out behind it in the thickets. There's a big grey bottom. You can just see the movement there. There we go, there's a tusk popping through. There we go. Probably going to be one of the first victims of the drought. And you can see all those ticks under the skin on its neck. Shame, poor little female. You can see it's got a lesion on its side there. So probably from the ticks. And I know this is quite difficult for a lot of people to watch, but this is nature. And impala are such a successful species that the majority will actually survive through the year and go on to breed next year. But unfortunately, I don't think this little female is going to make it. And the elephants are moving further into Buffelshoek, so we're going to keep on border patrol. But it's worthwhile knowing that there's an impala in not too good a shape in this area. Definitely worth checking around. That's a prime candidate for a leopard or a lion to grab. Christina's wondering why that impala's back would be so arched. It's not so much that the back is arched, Christina, that the fact is that it's just very, very skinny, giving that impression. There we go, there's a big herd of eddies around here. It's coming up on the right here, Bian. Hello, madam. Now, of course, there's benefits to being an omnivore. I'm sorry, not an omnivore. I suppose it's sort of an omnivore, but an animal that both grazes and browses. So there's still quite a bit of leaf or foliage around. So a lot of the animals that are able to consume both are taking advantage of that in this very dry period. Picking out all the little acacias there. And there's quite a few more off to the left. Just hear them moving through the bush all around us. Quite a big herd. Let's try and sneak forward a little bit. Always important to let the car run for a few seconds, especially when the elephants are quite close to the road like this. And vehicle into low range, keep the revs nice and low. Look, this is a massive herd. They're spread out far and wide. But we have a roadblock at the moment. Now, there's probably 60 or 70 elephants around us. And I mean, you can barely hear them. Just the odd break of a branch. But the herd looks very relaxed at the moment. None of that crashing and screaming and chasing each other around just yet. Maybe there's no naughty boys around. Sneak a bit further to get a better view. Hello, little one. Oh yes, very scary. So, Cat and Tampa has just noted you can really see how the grass is disappearing. And I mean, if you look, you can see all the bits of bare soil all over the place. And there is still quite a lot of leaf foliage around for the animals to feed on, particularly things like elephants and that. And there we go, you can see not almost a blade of grass. Even most of that stuff there is little perennial herbs that are drying out. You can see that red thorn on Acacia gerardi there that has been kept very small by the elephants. Oh, look, looks like a bit of a game going on beyond there, with that little one over there in the crickets. Let's just have a quick look at this little... Yes, we're very scary. There's two at the back are having a great game. There we go. Pushing each other around. Oh, that game looks like it's over. Or was the... Oh, look at the little one at the back. He was attacking a tree earlier, practicing with his trunk. There we go. The frustration of not being able to grab it. I'll just put you in my mouth and chew you if you won't break. It is always so cute when they're trying to learn how to use their trunks properly. Having much fun. Look at that. Oh, there could be some fun and games between the little ones here. How small the one in the middle is, you can't even see it between the two others. There we go. And you get sandwiched between. Very sweet. I'm still trying to use that trunk to pick up things, but still too young to have mastered the art. I have all their ears flapping away, cooling them down. Now as we look, we've got a couple of elephant bottoms facing us. And Pan, who's a new viewer, a big SafariLIVE welcome to you, is wondering, do an elephant's tails change as they get older? Well, certain individuals have more hair on their tails than others, but they don't really change, they just get a bit bigger. And of course, it's very effective fly swat. There we go. And if you have a look at the little one, almost exactly the same, just a little bit smaller. Oh, now we're getting inspected. No, we're not that interesting. Oh, maybe we are. Giving us a good sniff. Yes, you got that branch. Well, you can't hang on to it there. So Jamal's wondering, what is the time frame for a lot of these trees and grass to grow back? And will elephants sort of do loops through areas? They will, but a lot of these, the grass is definitely not going to grow back till end of the year, in the wet season. And the same will be said for quite a lot of the different tree species. But the trees do have defenses against animals like elephants as they feed on them. What they do is they release tannins, which make the leaves quite bitter, and that causes the elephants to move through an area, but they will come back when the tannins aren't so bitter. Still very curious about us. Almost looks like his trunk gets tired while he's smelling us. He can't hold it up there for too long. Oh, here comes the charge. Now what? We didn't run away. Yes, but you are very scary, mister. Get back to safety, safety in numbers. Isn't that just cute? Very common little elephant bull behavior. Just reminding us that he's really big and strong and we should be petrified if he charges us. So Tony, old boy fish, has been watching them flap their ears. He's wondering, is it still that warm over here that they need to keep cool? It's about 74 Fahrenheit, 28 degrees Celsius. So it is warm enough, and they are out in the open. They're not sort of sitting in the shade, and they do use a lot of energy breaking and feeding. So they do often, even when you wouldn't expect them to need to cool down, and they will flap their ears and cool down. Oh, there goes a low-felt albizia into the mouth. Hello, madam. Coming back. We're going backwards and forwards across the road today. Yes. She's a big girl. So it is wonderful being able to spend time with these animals. You can see how relaxed they are in our presence. I mean, she's no more than a few meters from the front of the vehicle and completely ignoring us. We're being attacked from behind. Oh, we got snuck up on. That little guy went round our back. He's trying to sneak upon us through a bush. So Anne is wondering, how far can an elephant smell? And obviously they've got that wonderfully big nose. I would guess that for a couple of kilometers, Anne. And they also got hearing. They can hear the low communication rumbles between elephants for up to sort of 20 kilometers. So they do have an incredible sense of smell and hearing. And their eyesight's not too shabby either. But we've got to keep on our boundary patrol. Let's leave these eddies be. So, Sid. Yes, you're very scary. Oh, she disturbed a blue pansy, Wium. So, let's go there on the ground. A little bit, come out a bit. Oh, it's taken off. So when she blew, it's disappeared. Oh, there it is. There you go. Quite a shame. Poor little butterfly called the blue pansy. She actually blew the dust onto the ground and it disturbed the butterfly. But Sid is wondering why they travel in such big groups. Also, they don't always travel in these massive groups like this. That tends to be normally more during the dry season. But they do normally live in extended family groups. So you'll find that most of the female elephants amongst you are all cousins or aunts and nieces and things like that. And it's multiple reasons, and very social animals, so they feel safe in big numbers. Particularly with the dry season coming on, they do tend to be a little bit more stressed because of lack of food and water and bigger distances they have to travel between the two. But normally I think it's just for comfort. They like being around other elephants, same as people like being around other people. Yeah, it's from this morning. Wium just spotted some lion tracks. It's the Inkahumas from this morning. So, Senior Gold's wondering if all those little calves we saw there will all belong to that one cow. Not at all. They're close enough in age that they would all belong to different cows. So, it's going to be a few years before an elephant will have a baby. So normally it waits till they're quite a bit older, sort of 6-7 years old, before they'll mate again. So those will all belong to different cows. But they'll move throughout the herd, not only staying very close to mom all the time. So we've done the northern boundary, where we've seen elephants and a sickly Impala. We're now on the eastern edge of Djuma, making our way towards Gowrie Main, and from there we'll be heading east towards Cheetah Plains. While we continue our search of the extremities of our traverse zone, let's go see Sam, who's in the west.
Welcome everyone, we're back on Arathusa. I've been told that you've had the most magnificent sighting of some elephants. How cool that must have been. We decided to drive in between that from Djuma down to Arathusa airstrip just to see if there's any chance of a jackal lurking around the area. As you can see, let's go this way. Let's go in reverse. Let's see if we can find anything. James Richard earlier said that he wanted to find zebra tracks. We're also seeing if we can find a zebra, if not some tracks. These are also, so the best chance of seeing a zebra at the moment for us is here. So we're looking in this area to see if we can see anything. Have a look in the horizon there. As you can see, it's a nice big open area here on Arathusa. And you can see that front that could be coming through and giving us some rain. Hopefully there will be some rain a little bit later. It'll be exciting if there is some rain. And you know what? I really do hope there's going to be rain. I might just try and do something to help the rain come. Okay, have a look in every direction, see if there's anything out here. Doesn't seem like it. Let's take this road round. Potentially there's something just lurking around the corner. So we were here yesterday, myself and Jean-Ray, tracking a leopard into this thick drainage, and then all of a sudden it went off our property. So this is anywhere further that way. I think, or it's Hoffman's or another property over there, so we can't drive there. This is the most southern section of Arathusa. We're going to drive up here slowly but surely, see if we can find any tracks. That could be, no, those are giraffe tracks. In the tree over here, you can see there's a red-billed buffalo weaver nests. There's 1, 2, 3 of them. So the same nest that we see at Buffelshoek Dam, you can see in this old knobthorn over here. They make very, very, very big nests. Adrian was saying that we were talking about ground nesting birds. Adrian would like to know what some other birds are there that ground nest. So you've got the spurfowls, the franklins, you've got some of the plovers. And those are the main ones that you're going to see out here in the bush around here. So, and they all nest, and they're actually precocial. So atricial and precocial. Atricial means that they are born blind and featherless, and precocial is these are the plovers. There are more plovers here. The ones that we see here are what look like crowned lapwings or Senegal lapwings, and these are also birds here that are ground nesting birds. So you can't see them quite well here. They're quite far in the distance there. Those are Senegal lapwings. And they also, so they are precocial, which means they are born with all their feathers and they have their eyes open, which helps them, because obviously being a ground nesting bird and not being able to get away and grow quickly would be just a little bit more difficult to survive. So Pre-coastal birds are the ground nesting birds. Just looking around for any signs of any animal that might be walking through these open areas this afternoon. We came here yesterday and we saw the secretary bird. So we call it secretary airlines here because we often see them here. So we're going to carry on in this direction to see if we can find anything that might be lurking here. In the time being, let's go and see how Brent is doing on Djuma.
Right, there's been a lot of elephant activity here as well. I don't think it's the same group. We just see tracks everywhere. But we're still on the eastern edge of our traverse zone. And unfortunately, no tracks of kitty cats just yet. Just lots and lots of sign of elephant. What's that up ahead there, Wium? Is it a stick? I think it's a stick.
All right.
No. Unfortunately, I think it was a lion-like stick. We'll see when we get a bit closer. It's amazing how many sticks and bushes and termite mounds end up looking like cats. So we were chatting about Djuma, which is a male leopard that's generally more to the north of us. And Debbie in Vancouver said she's heard him mentioned a few times, him and Tingana sparring. Possibly, I've been away for a while. Wium said Tingana was chasing him. He's a bit younger than Tingana, so I think Tingana's still got the upper hand for now. But it is possible that he might try push Tingana out of Djuma at a later stage. You never know, and that's the fascinating thing about being in an open system. And the animals can move in and out and from areas like Kruger and Manuleti, where they have very little contact with people or vehicles. So you do get new animals coming in. WildEarth Gertie would like to know, would a predator still want to eat that impala that was looking so sickly? Most definitely. It's a nice, easy one to catch. So it's not as fleet-foot as a fit and healthy impala. So a predator would actually go for that before a fit and healthy impala. That's why survival of the fittest. Well, Sid's wondering how old that sickly impala is. I'd probably say, what are we now? So I'd say at earliest it was born December, January, February, March, April, May. So 5 months old. It was one of this year's babies. And there's a buffalo, or a breeding herd of buffalo. Now, I'm pretty sure from the tracks and that what we saw, this could be the same herd the Nkuhumas were chasing up and down last night. Now, so far, Boundary Patrol working out quite well. Hello, Flows. Looks like quite a nice, reasonable sized herd. Around 100 or so. Oh, and look at them, they're a bit nervous, a bit jumpy. I could definitely... Oh, actually, no, we saw this herd this morning sitting on Gowrie Main, and the reason I know that is because of that cow I'm going to show you now. You see her there, Wium? Very distinct old lady. A very white face and broken horn, lots of white patches, and lack of hair on her. A very old buffalo cow there, and we saw her this morning. A nice big dominant bull to the right, giving us the evil eye. Unfortunately, they're moving across our eastern boundary, and I think they're heading towards the closest water, which is in Torchwood. So Deb is wondering, how big is the reserve we're in? Well, Deb, that's a really interesting question, and it's actually multiple reserves. So we'll start on the small, and where we are currently is Djuma Private Game Reserve, and it is part of the Sabi Sands Game Reserve, which is about 60,000 hectares, 120,000 acres, give or take. But we are part of the Greater Kruger National Park, so a massive unfenced area, including a lot of the private reserves here on the western side. And then from there, we are part of the Greater Limpopo Transfrontier Park. Quite a mouthful, but it is around 10 million acres of unfenced African wilderness that the animals can roam in. Of course, there are human boundaries so for example, we are allowed to drive on this side, but not on that side. But the animals, as you can see, are allowed to go where they please. Buffalo crossing through into Torchwood, and hopefully they bump into the Nkahuma Pride, who chases them back towards us. But we're still on boundary patrol, so off we continue. Tony's wondering, is there an increase in burrow making activity since winter has arrived? So Tony, our winters are very, very mild in comparison to the northern hemisphere, so we don't have that many animals that hibernate completely. So not too much, no more than sort of normal burrow making activity, apart from the insects, but most of their burrowing is already done. So the insects have burrowed and sort of gone into pupa stages and whatnot for the winter, waiting for the next set of rains, and then they'll emerge. But in terms of the mammals and that, I'd say it's pretty much the same as normal. So Tony's wondering, we saw that female buffalo with a broken horn there, and Tony's saying, well, females don't fight. How would she have broken that horn? Well, Tony, they do fight, just not nearly as seriously as males. They'll jostle, and also sometimes those horns get broken when they're trying to defend themselves against lions or run away in a panic. If a big herd of buffalo stampedes, that's when those females generally tend to break their horns. Just got to call that in for the other game drives. Large clumber of Nyari, mobile east into Torchwood, about 150 meters to the north of the junction with the Gowrie Main Cheetah cut line. Sorry, go again, F. Affirm. So Sid's wondering, do the big herds of buffalo travel in those large groups for the same reasons as the elephants do? Not really. For them, it's more safety in numbers. Elephants are really big and very few things can threaten them. Whereas buffalo, they're one of the favorite foods of lions. So if you're in a big herd, the odds are you're less likely to get eaten. Also, more eyes, more ears, more noses to spot, to smell, and to hear potential threats. Okay, so we've done the northern boundary and the eastern boundary of Djuma. We're now heading east towards Cheetah Plains, down Gari Main. I haven't been to Cheetah Plains in about 3 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see how much it's dried, how much it's changed since I was last there. Aaron's wondering, would the sable herd that was on Mala possibly wander onto Cheetah Plains? You never know, Aaron. It is a possibility. Guys, I do apologize. I do have to go through a little dip here, so we might lose signal, but we'll go through it as quickly as possible. There we go, back through. Hopefully he's still with us. Oh, some more elephants. Eddies everywhere. That's an elephant bull. Oh, and a bird for him. Oh, we get there. I think I know what bird it is from at this distance already. Yes, there he is. A Bateleur. And it sounds like another big herd of elephants around here. You can just hear them in the distance. Oh, there we go. There's the Bateleur. Always pays to double check when you see a Bateleur sitting like that at this time of the day. And they have incredible eyesight, and they're often the first to spot a carcass, even a leopard carcass in a tree, and just having a quick squiz in the trees around. But unfortunately, doesn't look like anything there. Fiona, oh, more elephants in front of us. Ellies everywhere. Fiona, who's in the UK, would like to know, do we get sociable weavers at Djuma? We do not, Fiona. We do have weavers that are sociable nesters, but not the sociable weaver. The sociable weaver occurs in the dry, arid west and northern areas of South Africa, and far more dry than we are here. So our sociable weavers we get Villatine weaver, lesser mast weaver, and the most common in this area, the red-billed buffalo weaver. So while we continue to make our way towards Cheetah Plains and leaving those great grey beasts behind us, Sam has got a great grey beast of his own.
Brent is off to Cheetah Plains, and myself and Dave are here by the watering hole at Arathusa. As you can see, there's quite a large hippo that's in the water here, and this is where Jamie saw the young hippo, so we came to look and see if that hippo is here this afternoon. But just as I was sitting here looking at that hippo, I noticed a bird that I haven't had on my bird list yet. So if we look into the foliage here, we can have a look at an African jacana. So that's a new bird for my bird list. I'm not sure if that is one for many other people, but it loves to be in these areas. When I was training as a game ranger, I used to spend a lot of time with the African jacanas, and ooh, the hippo just looks like it's submerging. Let's go and have a look at what that hippo is doing. So it's literally put its whole head under the water. It's quite fascinating to see that. Holding his breath. What is he up to? There's no bubbles coming up. Oh, I just saw a bubble come up just as I said that. So the hippo is going to be lying up in this watering hole for most of the day. But let's quickly, just while we're talking about the bird, the bird is just the left there. Let's go back to the African jacana, and I'm just going to show you the bird in the bird book as well. It's a beautiful bird. Have a look at the wonderful colors that are on this bird. You've got a really nice color, chestnut brown around the back, some black and some white. And what's really, really interesting about this bird is that it's polyandrous. So you get birds that are polygamous, and then you get polyandry, which means that it's one male, one female, many males. That's correct. So the females, so the man, this was probably a male who will rear the chicks in this watering hole here, and the females will fly between the different watering holes and mate with the different males. And it's actually one of the few species that actually will rear the chicks, that will grow the chicks up over time. So that's just a fascinating little fact about an African jacana. But it seems that the hippo decided to get back out of the water. It's now opened its eyes a little bit. So we've been with 2 hippos today, and they're probably most likely the dominant bull hippos out in these areas. They would have fought, he probably would have fought quite hard to have this space, because it is probably the biggest watering hole in the region between Arathusa, Cheetah Plains and Djuma. So you can see there's quite a lot of size on this hippo. But there's just been a report of a leopard seen at Seif's Pan, which is at the western border of Arathusa. So myself and Dave are getting to know the property a little bit better, and we decided let's maybe go and have a look at what might be over there. That was an interesting little turnover there by the hippo. Not moving to there, so he'll probably be relaxing in this watering hole until much later this afternoon, even up until this evening, and then we'll come out and start grazing on some of the foliage around this area. But I'm not sure if the African jacana is a new bird for your list. It's certainly a new bird for my list. Let's see, that's 1 for the afternoon. Let's maybe see if we can get 5. How does that sound, Aaron and James and all the others that are trying to build them? So I often see zebra around here as well, so let's see if we can locate on a beautiful looking zebra this afternoon. Okay, so Seif's Pan. Let's go to Seif's Pan. I reckon Seif's Pan's this way. Yes. Don't even need my map anymore. Ooh, there's a beautiful looking waterbuck that's just standing out in the distance there. As what we know about waterbuck is they don't travel too far from water. They will stay around 12 kilometers radius, no further. And it's a beautiful looking female waterbuck. See, she's chewing the cud there. Oh, I love the look of the waterbuck. They've got a nice, big, thick fur just in front of their necks there, which is always really cool to see. So that's a nice looking female waterbuck. Ooh. There we go. So from a hippo to a jacana to a waterbuck, what could be next? Slowly move through this thicket. It's really interesting going into a new property and just trying to work out where and what is there. Okay, so we've got also an Impala that's now walking through this thicket here. Looks like quite a big male Impala. We'll go nice and slowly. You know that we've seen quite a few Impala that have been going through the rut. Ooh, it's two females. So I just noticed two females. Let's see what kind of behavior they're displaying. They look very relaxed there. Have a look at you. Look at these. There's the male. He just came around the back. So I did see the male before. He's a really, really good-looking male. He must have had quite a bit of dominance between the others in the bachelor group to be able to look after this harem of females. As I said, it's still going through the rutting season, which means that they are more likely to be preyed upon by predators such as the lion and leopard. And that's why we're off in a direction to see it, because there's more ways to track than just looking for tracks on the ground. You can tell how nervous an animal is by what it's seen. Straight to Steve's pan. Thank you, Mr. Ellie, for helping me with that decision. The behavior of animals can tell you so much about what's actually going on in that region. So what we've noticed there is that there's quite a few grazing buck that are walking around this area that look quite relaxed. I think that question was, how did you find that bird? How did you spell it? How do you spell it? Oh, yes, okay. Jacana, so it's J-A-C-A-N-A. J-A-C-A-N-A. Let me just get a look of it over here. It really is a beautiful bird, the jacana. I truly love this book. I've taken it everywhere, so it's a little bit old. And so there it is, the African jacana in the middle there. Have a look at that prominent blue. So it is one of the only species where the males carry the young. And what's quite funny is that they put their young in between their wings, the males. In between those wings over here, you'll find the little feet of the jacana underneath those wings as he runs across the lilies. And it often looks like blue spaghetti coming out of the back of a male jacana, which is very, very cool to see that. So that is the male jacana. And the defense of being able to be on the waterine areas when that male's looking after the eggs in that area, it protects them from a lot of other species that would eat those eggs. I mean, of course, it opens up to other species that will be able to get to those waterine areas. But if you can imagine, anything that's above water or on water is a little bit more protected than those that are on the land. Much like a weaver's nest. A lot of weavers will place their nests above water, which just makes it a little bit more safer for them. So that was the African jacana. That must be close to number 50, where I've been able to describe and talk a little bit more about my birds. What is that for you then, Dave?
42.
Dave's on 42, he's doing well. got some tracks here of a giraffe. So we might be able to see a giraffe just around these corners. Fascinating driving somewhere that you're not as familiar with. Vegetation is just slightly different. And you know what? I've said it. I've said I really want some rain, so I'm going to do something that's out of my comfort zone. Everyone said that you know, doing something that does a little bit, maybe it will bring some rain to us out here in the bush. We don't know. Last time I was with Dave and I was with James, and I said, please can the rain, well, James said it, please can the rain come? And he said, Dave and Sam, will you come out and jump and have a little dance? And I got up and did a handstand, and it then rained that evening, and I can just see the thick clouds coming out over here. So I'm just going to do a quick handstand to see if maybe that'll help the rain come out tonight. So I'll do a little dance. Hey, do you feel like it might rain now?
Oh, yes.
That's nice as well, just to get out and get the blood flowing, and hopefully that rain will come, because those watering holes are drying up, and it's just going to make such a difference if that rain comes in. So that was my little handstand to try and get the rain here. I might not be able to do a lion roar, but I can stand on my hands and hope the rain will come. Let's carry on. Hopefully this evening we'll have some rain pouring down. It's so funny, I came on my interview and I did a dance, and then I just did a little handstand, and then it rained the next day. So everyone was like, maybe that could have been your handstand that helped the rain come down. So I was having a conversation with someone, maybe Dave, and I always felt quite nervous about just doing it, you know. I just thought, you know, why not? If it brings the rain, why not? It's incredible, you know. I used to read a lot of text about the way in which people of the Bushmen used to praise the rain when it comes. Can you imagine what it would have been like living out where you didn't have access to water and food, much like we have access to water and food? So their relationship to water was so strong that when they saw rain coming, they would really do and practice rituals of dance to bring that rain and celebrate that rain. And yeah, I definitely don't celebrate the rain as much as I think I should. So if it does rain, I shall celebrate, because it will bring a little bit of nourishment and water to the bush out here. And do you know what it'll also do for our game viewing? We'll be able to see a few more herbivores that will come down to the watering holes. Just at the moment, we've come across another animal that's just in front of us here. It's a wildebeest. So this is quite a strange place to see a wildebeest. You don't often find wildebeest sitting in these open thickets. They like to be in the big open areas, grazing in the short grass. So there's not one there. I think there's more. There could be a herd of wildebeest. Let's move a little bit slower towards these wildebeest and have a look at what they're doing, what their behavior is like. In the distance, I can hear a rutting Impala. You can really feel the temperature, like the pressure change in the air. I really do feel like it will rain a bit later. I really hope it does. So there's one here. There's two there. So there's not just one, there's two, there's three, there's four. This is a whole herd of wildebeest. So let's go a little bit slower and have a look at them. So here's a female, you can quite clearly see it, a female and a calf. Tell the female by that brown fur in between the horns there. And there's a young one right here, and you can also see that its horns are quite small. Beautiful looking animals, the wildebeest. I love the coloration of white, black, and almost like a silvery look. And it's actually said in theory that that actually helps them with cooling. If you look at the posture of a wildebeest, they're actually built for long distance migrations. So that if you watch the way they run, which hopefully you might be able to see one day, you'll see that their head is then forward in a position where they can take a run. You know? Look at the way in which the back is arched, and not run fast, but to run and endure long, long, long distances. So that's great to see some wildebeest. Let's go a little bit more around and view them from another side. So it's really quite a large group. So these are the black wildebeest. Let's have a look at it and see what they're eating. I'm quite interested to see what they would be into. In South Africa, they're actually typically found in the areas such as Bloemfontein and the Free State. That's where you find most, because there's big open areas there with the wildebeest. And they like to eat the short grazing, graze the short grasses, and they're in this thicket area, which is somewhere you wouldn't normally see them, but they are grazing on the grasses, as you can see. Can't see much there, though. I'll get you a better position. Potentially, we might be able to find the big male that's around here. There he is. Gee, how, look at this guy. He's very, very dark. This one on the right will look like the dominant male here, and he's really, really, really beautiful. You can see those dark tail there. So he would have been courting these females into his area, and generally the male impala will be looking for the biggest or ownership of land that is closest to food and water. And so he looks like quite a strongly built wildebeest. Has been protecting his land quite well, and that's why he's got such a good looking group of females and youngsters with him. You can quite clearly see the coloration difference there. Truly, truly beautiful animals. Awesome. So we've had a very, very lucky little section there where we've seen quite a few of the grazing animals, and they all look quite relaxed at the moment. And there is the clouds in the distance there that might just bring that rain that we so badly want. But let's head on. Let's go a little bit further into the reaches of Arathusa and see maybe can we find a predator this afternoon. We haven't seen a leopard on Arathusa before. It's much harder to find a leopard in an area that you don't know as well as what you're used to, but I need to become used to this area. I need to become familiar with it. And leopards specifically walk different lines. You know, they scent mark pretty much in the same area, so they do trails. And once you get to know a leopard a little bit better, then you know kind of the trail that the leopard likes to walk. And so the more that you experience that leopard and see it and understand it, the more that you'll know, okay, maybe the Anderson male, which is the male leopard that's in this area, just south of this area, big male leopard, maybe he's going to pop out next to this marula tree. So in order to be able to experience these great beasts of the megafauna, we need to become a little bit more experienced with the land and them themselves. So we've seen that those antelope looking slightly relaxed behind us. Maybe we'll hear something going off. There was signs that there was a leopard seen in this area at about 12 o'clock, and that's why me and Dave decided to come and work this area and see what we can find. We know that we've got binocular Dave behind us, who's looking in every direction. I don't know if it's dangerous Dave or binocular Dave, but
Yeah.
I think he's both. Eh?
I like the second one.
There seems to be a lot of silver cluster leaves around here. I'm also looking for any birds. Any poisonous plants like poison ivy here. Well, yes, Dina, there are quite a few different plants that have, well, that aren't, they can be poisonous with the amount that you eat of it. So if you eat quite a lot of it, you can get poisonous. I forgot the name of it at the moment, and that's something I'm glad you reminded me of it, because I'd like to. I was thinking about it the other day. There's this one tree that has a seed pod, and I remember the seed pod being red and black, and it's really, really bad, and it will kill you if you try and eat it and digest it. So I'll look it up and try and let you know what it is. But you must always, like, I'm very, very careful of that, you know. I mean, I've only really been taught the berries, and like from the jackalberry to the guarri bush berry to the white berry bush, the ones that I can eat. But I've never really gone on an adventure to see what I can't eat out here, which is probably quite an important thing to do. Bit of water angle. So this could be sea span over here. Some elephant dung on the other side there. Looks like we've seen some elephants. Any tracks of a leopard in this area? So this is where apparently a leopard was seen at about 12 o'clock. There's vehicle tracks that are heading off here. So maybe someone's had a look and found the leopard already. Go out. Oof, that was so loud. Ow. That was really, really loud. So I'm just going to get an update and see if there is a leopard in this area, because I would love to show you the Anderson male. It would make me a very, very happy person. Let's go through to Brent while I go and see if I can locate on anything that might be down in this area. We'll see you now. Ultra activity.
I just want to take a push.
No, hold on. So we are moving through the bush here now, and Dave needed to go and have a comfort stop just before we went. So we're just gonna get back on the vehicle and carry on. There we go. So let's carry on going through the bush. So let's go a little bit slowly here. You managed to get whatever your cap that fell off there? Cool. Awesome. Dave was just collecting something. So as I said, I just want to get on this radio to see if something's happening. Stations up and down on Arathusa for the last. Have a look in that area there while I receive some of these updates. Only lions that were found at the other property, so we've got nothing found at Arathusa here. So it's on us to see what we can find down by the windmills. As you can see, have a look in the distance there. It looks like it might rain this evening. If we're very, very lucky. You see that clouds, those clouds are building. Yeah, Zeus was up there and he just saw Sam dancing. Started doing some handstands and started to build some clouds. I truly, truly love like going through folk tales and learning about the way in which some people were connected to their landscapes many, many years ago. I think it's fascinating, the relationship and the bond that people have had to their landscapes. Okay, the Windmill Road is just down here. People talking in my ear. Just paying attention because that was the pan where so the leopard was seen, and so I'm just looking in the thickets here, just in case there might be a leopard that is lying up on one of the termite mounds, or potentially in a tree with a kill. You never know. And so with eyes wide open, we might just stumble across it. Sometimes I just think about sometimes how many things I miss because I'm not looking around, paying attention and listening to my environment. There we go. Laura would like to know how excited I was when I found out I got the job. Laura, it was a great moment for me. It really, really was, because I mean, I'd never done presenting before. Like, this is never ever been a presenter. My stepmom's been a presenter for most of her life. She works at the BBC in England, and so I came and did this, and I've only lived in the bush for a year, or 7 months rather, at Londolozi, where I trained there, and then I left there and went to the Cedarburg, which is a very, very different environment. And so I only knew so much, and coming to doing the interview was, I can't even tell you how nervous I was. I didn't sleep both nights. Never forget, I just went out with Scott and Nikki and chatted about it, and they were awesome. They really helped me relax before the drive the next morning, and they just said, you know, just go out there and enjoy it the way in which you would. It doesn't matter what people think, just go and enjoy wilderness the way in which you like to enjoy it. And I did it, and I really enjoyed the interview. And when I got told I got the job, I was both very excited and both anxious, because, you know, there's a lot I needed to learn. There's lots I had to be aware of, and learning roads. So I was super excited, and, you know, it was a challenge. It was a big, big challenge, Laura. And challenges are great. You know, they push you straight out of your comfort zone. And I was living in Cape Town, which is very, very far away from here. 2.5 day drive to get to Cape Town from here. And I was living on the beach, surfing, and not being in the bush at all, you know. So quite a big shift to come from that to this. But it's just been so fantastic, and I was super excited. So I know that was quite a long-winded answer to the question of how excited we were. But I was very, very excited. And I've got 2 weeks left here until I can go back and see the family and see all of them, and they're all very, very proud of me and glad that I pushed myself. And yeah, challenges are good for you. At the time they feel hard and you feel like you can't do it, but you just got to look within to find the power. There is a beautiful kudu. Wow. Look at that kudu over there. Oopsie. I forget with jigger has a really short clutch, so I have to be careful. Look at that kudu. Isn't that a magnificent looking kudu? And there's a warthog. There's a warthog and there's a kudu. So if we just watch it, let's just view this huge kudu before we go to the warthog. It seems to me he might be looking at something. Yes, he is looking at something. Unless he tripped. He either tripped there or he was looking at something. Okay, we're going to go there now. Let's go there. There's a young one and a female that are also just here. I'm interested to see maybe that kudu had seen something. There's another beautiful male kudu here. Aren't we lucky? There's another vehicle coming. So what I'm going to do is into a position where I can let that other vehicle come past. Sorry about that, Dave. You've got quite an angle there. I'm just waiting for the vehicles to come past us. There we go. That's a nice family group of kudu there. Here go the warthogs. Behind the area, we've got another huge kudu there. Looks like there's another male kudu just in the background there. Beautiful. Look at that. If you want a screenshot, a picture of warthogs with one of the most beautiful looking kudus in the background. There goes the kudu. Sorry, there goes the warthog rather. Kudu's just there, comes the kudu. It's awesome when you see two animals together. There are two of the most magnificent looking kudus here. Have a look at this one. These horns are just majestic. So, excuse me for this position, Dave. I know that it's quite slanted. Just waiting for this car to move past, but have a look at those horns. So these horns are great, but the ones I was actually pointing at were the ones that are to the left here on this male kudu over there. And they are 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Wow, this is incredible. So there he goes, off into the thicket. Magnificent looking bull. So fascinating when you come across a large group of kudus. So there was a female here as well, and a youngster. There's 3 large males. A young kudu and a female one. Beautiful as it goes off into the thicket there. That's where they feel safest. Just going to let them through. We've got some other vehicles. How's it going? How are you feeling?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Bear in mind I was late.
Awesome. How you going?
We're Salyexe.
Where? Who?
Salyexe.
Where is it? Just down here?
Do you know where Seaspan is?
Yeah, so I was coming towards, I thought Seaspan was actually the plan behind us. So is it, so just want to check here.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay.
So that's our waterhole?
Okay, guys, I'm just getting a visual on where these leopard might be.
Okay, so where are you now, buddy? You are sitting pretty much.
Yeah.
And you're second one more.
Yeah.
So come down first one more road.
Yep.
Okay, and then you're gonna see SafariLIVE and then take a right. Or just after you go past second one more, you can take a right there.
Yeah.
And then that road will pick you up. But either way, you're gonna
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Cheers, So we've just had some really, really good news. Please excuse me for having a conversation with one of the other guides there, but it was quite important because just learning about where a female leopard has been seen lately, and I really wanted to get you there. So the best way for me to do that was just to have a quick chat with our friend from Arathusa and see, because I don't know the drainage line so well, and this is the map I have, and sometimes it doesn't really give you the best kind of directions and skills, because it doesn't have the name of the pans. It just has a picture of the pan. Awesome, so we might be lucky enough to go and see a female leopard. How incredible were those kudus. There were 3 of the largest looking kudus I've seen in quite some time. So we're now on the most western section of Arathusa. And the drainage line is just to our right here. I'm just going to get on the radio just to call in and ask if I can come into that sighting. Direction on standby. So we're at the windmill, so if you want to know where we are in Arathusa at the moment, have a look at that windmill. That's going to tell us that we are on the most western side of Arathusa at the moment. And the female leopard was seen in this area. Let's pay attention and see what might be going on around here. We played touch rugby today with that guide from Arathusa. Because I'm quite tired from that game. So you saw that, you might have seen the videos on our YouTube channel of, here we go, over, of us playing touch rugby, and we played a game today and I'm just feeling quite tired from that game. I mean, it wasn't a very long game, but tiring. There's a nice looking watering hole. Just checking if there might be anything here on the watering hole. There's a nice bird just in that watering hole there. I'm just going to get my binoculars. We've got some time to just go towards that female. There are some other vehicles there at the moment. So let's try and get some birds in the meantime. That looks like another pied wagtail. We saw that this morning. Oh no, it's not. It's the 3-banded plover. 3-banded plover. Looks like it's just feeding in the watering hole there. Oh no, that's the. Sorry, I was looking at my binoculars there. It's the ringneck dove. Just go left there, and you'll see another bird. That's there. So now go lock in straight. And go down right, bottom right. Yeah, there we go. So I couldn't look at my monitor because I was trying to determine what bird it was with my binoculars. And that is the 3-banded plover. So I'm not sure if that's a new bird. So I know that we saw this plover just, I think, maybe two days ago. I know that we might have seen this plover just a few days ago, but I'm not sure if that might be a new one for you, Aaron, or James. But it's a really, really cool bird to find. You don't often find them. I mean, when you do find them, you'll find them down by the watering holes. That's awesome that we managed to find the 3-banded plover. It's a very special part, this part of the reserve. It's really, really pretty. Let's come down this way. If I was an elephant, I would love to walk through here. You can actually see that elephants have walked through here, haven't they? At the side of the... So you can see some mud that's been rubbed off here, and specifically on these trees, just here. On the left here, you'll see mud that has been scraped off over there, and that helps them get rid of their ticks. So we're going to head off in the direction of where that leopard was seen, and we are going to...
So sorry about that. We seem to have found some gremlins down here in the east, but we are still on boundary patrol, checking for tracks. And in this area, we're hoping for cheetah, but no such luck. We're about to come onto the big open area, and maybe we'll spot something, including Gnormless Gnorman, the GNU. He might be around, you never know. Oh, Gnormless has got some girls. Lucky man. Always has to check carefully. You come out into these big open areas. Where Gnormless has got himself some ladies. Quite a nice little herd. So there we go. Quite a big group that Norman's got for himself. Jesse Segman's wondering what is the difference between blue and black wildebeest. Well, here we have the blue wildebeest. And they generally occur at a lower altitude. They split, the two wildebeest species we get in southern Africa split about 1.2 million years ago. And the black has a slightly different horn shape with a sort of forward-facing horn rather than a side horn. And in this area, they've also got a very white tail, a white tip to the tail, and a white beard. Now, in East Africa, the blue wildebeest also has that, and it's just a local variation. Black wildebeest also live on the high veld grasslands rather than down in the low veld where we are now. But I'm trying to see where Gnormless is, but he's been defending this patch of short grassland against other wildebeest, and defending it for this very reason, that females are attracted to areas like this. Ideal habitat. Now the females will move between different males areas. The reason they do that is to ensure a bit of genetic diversity. Apart from the wildebeest, I can't really see too much else. I was glassing the plains with my binoculars. Hoping, in all hopes, to spot something. Let's move a bit further forward. So Gracie, hi Gracie, who's 8 years old, says, Brent, do you know that there's a tree with a water pipe on it on Cheetah Plains? James doesn't know how it got there. Gracie, I have no idea how it got there as well. And we're going to do a little bit of a cheat quickly. When you see a game drive vehicle driving at that sort of speed, oh, excuse me, it means they might have on their way to see something. We might be able to see it from this distance, who knows? You can see the dust.
Oh, no, I don't see this.
Okay, to the right?
Oh, no, I see it.
Yes, it's reversing as well. They've spotted something. Could they have spotted those two cheetah boys?
Looks a bit empty.
It does. Maybe it's new rangers learning the roads. That is also a possibility. It's always worth double checking. He was going a little bit faster than you normally would on game drive, so generally when that happens it means someone's responding to a sighting. Let's get a little bit higher. So Anne's wondering, do I think the male has already mated with the females? And it is currently mating season, so it is possible that he might have mated with some of them already. If not, tried to mate with all of them. Last view. Have a look at the plains from a different angle, looking back towards there. See if there was anything in this valley. So Aaron's wondering, what are the chances of seeing the Anderson male on Cheetah Plains at some point? I would say, Aaron, not too high. I think if he moves territory, he's going to move down towards the south, towards the Sand River. And he is already spending a lot more time there. That vehicle stopped. I'm trying to check the termite mound next to it. I think they've spotted something. Can we see where they're looking? Looks to be to the right of the road there. Let me just try it a little bit to the left. There, towards that slightly more open area there. Go back a little bit under that tree. Mysteries. So what we're looking for, if it is cheetah, sometimes they're lying so incredibly flat, they almost disappear, and their heads just sticking up. They can often look like a piece of elephant down. They could just be bird watching. Wow, what a mystery. I wonder what is there. Let's try one more angle. Of course, the true dead giveaway would be if a second vehicle came a-racing. Crowned lapwings around us. There you go, off their flutter. For the other binoculars that are more powerful. More powerful binoculars now. You see anything, Vim?
Except for the lapwings.
Except for the lapwings and the wildebeest. I don't know. Vim, just go back, but just beyond that vehicle, on the termite mound. I think I saw something move. Am I being? No. See, they're looking to the right of the car there. Maybe behind that bush. Just go left a little bit, please, Sam.
Looks like there's something straight through that tree in
Yeah.
the right-hand corner in that hole there.
Okay, we'll try a little bit more forward. Last try. What do you think from here? Let's use that super zoom. Wait, what's that there on the ground? Just to the right. No, it's nothing. It's a stick. They could be bird watching. I don't think so. I think there's a cat there. What do you think, Vim?
Smell a cat.
I smell a cat, yeah. They're just sitting too long in the same place. But Mercedes is wondering, what is the sort of population of cheetah in the Cheetah Plains area? Well, we've got those 2 resident males, and as far as I know, there's one sort of unrelaxed female that comes through from time to time. Cheetah don't have, or female cheetah don't have a defined home range like lion or leopard. So they do meander and cross between each other, so it can change tomorrow. But I'd say probably 3 is a safe bet, but possibly as many as 5. Definitely the two resident dominant males that we see quite frequently, and then females can vary, sort of 1 to 3 that might come in and out. One more look. This is driving me nuts. So, one of the other things we see out in these big open plains is ostrich. And Joyce in Pennsylvania is wondering, would a lion, leopard, or cheetah attempt to take down an ostrich? Joyce feels that their legs would be too strong. Well, Joyce, all 3 of them would definitely take an ostrich, and cheetah in particular are quite adept and are quite fond of eating ostriches. Well, Anne is wondering, could it be the famous cheetah log? And I don't think it's a log. I think there's definitely something there. I don't think the vehicle with a guest would sit that long looking at a log, but it might be worth our while hanging around here for a bit and just waiting. This is the time of the day where cheetah do start getting moving, and the closest water is behind us in Cheetah Plains. And quite often when you spend a bit of time in an open area like this, you start noticing other things. like jackal, and I've seen quite a few times while sitting here. There's the wildebeest. So a lot of you are wondering why I haven't got on the Game Drive channel to find out what's there. We don't share a Game Drive channel with the property to the south of Cheetah Plains. So we don't have the ability to talk to them. But while we wait out the chance at a spotted cat, I think Sam might have another one.
So we have managed to relocate on the female leopard here at the most western boundary of Arathusa. So thank you so much for being patient with us when I was trying to find out where to go from the other guy from Arathusa. It was such a vital thing for us, for me and Dave, to then come and find this beautiful looking female leopard, and I'm not sure who it is at the moment. So excited to be with a new leopard this afternoon, especially on a new property. It just makes me feel that much more happier, you know, to come here, work this place, and get a bit more practice in this area and learn these leopards. So here we are with a magnificently, oh, there we go, beautiful yawn. So who might you be? I'm just going to get my binoculars out. If any of the viewers out there that know maybe which female leopard this is, please let us know. Hashtag SafariLIVE. We would love to know what your thoughts are on which female you are with at the moment. I'm just going to get my binoculars and see what the spot pattern might be. This beautiful female. So, where in Arathusa are we? Well, let's just show you where we are. So, I've got a map here for you that I can show you exactly where we are in Arathusa. So this is the map that I've been using. It's quite dirty, but for now, come down and point yourself right there. That's exactly where we are on Safe's Pan. So we've driven quite a distance this afternoon to come and find this female leopard, and she's over here at Safe's Pan. So we drove. What we did was we came in from the airstrip, which is here, and we drove all the way down and around to Safe's Pan, and that's how we found her. So very, very excited that we managed to find her. Isn't she beautiful? So let's drive a little bit closer to her. Maybe we can get another visual. These cameras are incredible. You don't even have to go closer. You can get locked in right in there and not disturb her at all from a distance. So I can't quite see the spot pattern at the moment. So I'm going to get my binoculars on and have a look from a distance. It's like a 4-spot pattern from here on the right. Let's just go a little bit closer, because then maybe Dave will be able to zoom even closer and we can get a little bit more of an affirmation of who she is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down and then back there, so you can have a visual of her beautiful face. I'm so excited to have found a leopard. We really wanted to see a leopard this afternoon, and Dave and I came through and did the deed. So we're just going to go down here. Hold on, everyone. We can go and find this leopard. have a look at her. She is so beautiful. So 1, 2, 3, 4 spot patterns on the right there. Hopefully she'll turn the other way and then we can get the other side. So we tell the difference between leopards by looking at the spot pattern, and if you look at the leopard's face now, you'll see 3 stripes down by the mouth, and then if you look above those 3 stripes, the last line of dots, Karula, the beautiful Karula. So this is so exciting to be sitting with another female. Hopefully we can find out soon who it is, and we get another look at her spot pattern. Her eyes, she does look like she's quite old. There we go, wow, look at her. So it's good to be back with a leopard. It's been some time. The last I was with Karula up a tree while she was feeding on that Impala, and now we're here with... The stomach seems to be quite full, so it looks like she has eaten. She's got a beautiful golden look to her. Wow, she is really beautiful. So it's still getting quite late in the day. I've still got quite a bit of drive left, so there's every chance that she might get up and start walking and scent marking. And I'll be so grateful if she did. She jumped up and showed us where she walks to, because that's the best way to learn a little bit more about a leopard, and what she likes to do is understanding her habits. What trees does she like to scent mark on? What path does she like to follow? Because they all have their own kind of characteristics and personalities in terms of their territory. So the more that you get to know their territory, the better it is to track these leopards. So it's actually my first leopard on Arathusa. Very cool. So some of the viewers are saying it could be, I think it's Salyexe. Salyexe, that's Salyexe. Ooh, there, look at that. Hello. Beautiful. Just wow. The sun, the last rays of the sun are now coming through the clouds towards the end of this day. She's going to be catching those last rays, and that's going to show you that beautiful golden look of this female leopard. Salyexe. That could be you, so this could be our very first meeting with you. I haven't seen the other side of her face yet. There we go. So can we go closer there, Dave, just to have a look at that spot pattern on the other side. 1, 2, 3. I'm counting 3, so it might be 4, 3. So you can see she's quite relaxed with us there. She's very relaxed with the 2 vehicles here. So I think she gets seen quite a lot, so she's been habitualized, which means that she's been seen a lot by vehicles. She doesn't get bothered so much by the vehicle. Whereas if you go down towards the different boundary, maybe the Kruger boundaries, where you don't see as many vehicles, some of the leopards there are quite skittish, which means that when they see a vehicle, they run off. And this could actually very well be the leopard that I saw, because I went tracking yesterday. I found leopard tracks yesterday. I don't know if anyone was on drive with me when I went off into the bush there to see if I can find a leopard. And I got to a termite mound. Oh, look at that. And all of a sudden I just heard something jump off onto the ground and run. And I was so sure that it was a leopard because there she goes, here she comes. Wow, look at that. So here she comes. She's going to come straight towards us. She came straight in between our vehicle. Wow, she just scent marked on her. There she goes. Let's see, she's going to be marking her territory. Beautiful, there she goes. Awesome to be back trailing a leopard again. It's been quite a while. There she goes. Look how big. She's a very slender looking leopard. She looks like she's going to be crossing or scent marking, right? She's going to scent mark. There we go. That's fascinating, isn't it? Look at that. There she goes. So she might be heading in a westerly direction. I'm not sure. It was incredible when she walked past my vehicle here. She might go to the toilet. Let's switch off there. Let's go a little bit closer to her. Wow. So we've got another vehicle coming. I'm just going to see if I can go to the left here. She might have something to drink. There she goes. So this is where we went looking for her a little bit earlier. So she just went to the toilet. She might just head down this road here. Let's go and sit here. Let's see what she does. There she goes. So she's now heading away from our area. I'm going to let this car come past me just because I think he is able to follow her into the next area. So there you can see her coming past. No worries. She's just over there. You just see her walking off into the distance there. Beautiful. She's lying up. She's lying up. So she's not going to leave us just yet. Which makes me quite excited. Look at her. Wow. Okay. So let's get into a nice position where you can leave her. So when she was walking past my vehicle, she scent marked on my wheel, which was the reason why I was in the way there. Because I was walking past and I was curious to see what she was doing there. So she actually scent marked on my wheel, which was quite interesting. And then she carried on moving down towards this drainage line. So I'm not positive on what her territory is and where she likes to move. But there's every chance that she might move now towards the drainage line and away from us. Look at the way she's lying down. Let's look at her tail. Look at her all the way down from her tail to her head. So look, nice rosettes coming all the way down to the tail. And just look at the end there, you'll see a little bit of white at the end of the tail there. Often when she's stalking some animal, such as an Impala or a Kudu or something like that, they'll try and signal the antelope to show that they've been seen. So as soon as they've been seen by another antelope, they lift that tail to say, okay, we've seen her, yeah, she's off again. Okay. So we are going to stand in this position because we can't go any further down there. Because that'll be going off into another area. She's going to scent mark there. Oh yes, she's lying down again. Isn't that fantastic? Sarah just sent me a message saying, Sam, do you think she's pregnant? Sam, she could very well be pregnant. I just thought she looked quite full. Watching. Oh no. Just hold it. Last one day. Last day. So we're coming back down now. So Sarah just asked, do you think that she might be pregnant? Sarah, I saw that she looked quite full. Didn't notice that. But she could very well be pregnant, and that would be really, really interesting if she was pregnant, because then we have Karula, we've got Nkanyeni who have already had cubs, but now we've got a new female that could be pregnant. That would be fascinating. So I'm going to go a little bit forward. I'd love for you to see her face a bit more. So this is literally the edge of how far we can go. I just need to check the radio. There we go. Let's have a look there. So I just want to say. There she is. So it's just the two of us down here, which means that we can spend as much time with her as we want. There she goes. She looks like she's going to go down into the drainage line. She's going very close to the track. So we might have to reverse. We can't go off onto that property. So she's just behind there. She's going to be lying up there. I'm going to reverse up this hill. You'll be able to see her from the distance. So she's just behind that tree there. She's now not on our property anymore. We had such an incredible sighting of her. I want to see if maybe... let's just trying to think of the best thing to do here. Let's wait and chat about it for a little bit. And then I think he might be coming in reversing if he does reverse. Okay. So they're going off onto the other property. Okay, so let's just go down. We can't go onto that property. Let's just see if we can move to a position where we can see her. You can just see her literally just through the trees there if you go quite very, very forward. So you can't actually see her at all. So let's just be patient. Potentially she'll come back out behind the tree there and we'll be able to view her. This eye, there's her tail. Can you see her tail? And there's her head. There she is. This is actually quite a cool way to look at it. She just put her head through there. You can just see her to the right of the tree. How cool is that? So, yeah, you can see her tail. It looks actually biting stuff there. So there's actually a cool screenshot that you can do here. As you get the leopard's head behind the tree, there would be a beautiful picture. You can just see her. There, look at it. You can just see the ear, and then she's moving around. Looks like she's trying to go after some flies there or something. What is she doing? This is so cool to watch it like this. Look at it. What is she doing? And she's off. That could be the last that we see of her. There we go. What an amazing sighting. How cool was that? She was just biting. It looked like she was trying to get something that was in the air in front of her there. That was a very, very cool sighting. So I'm just going to reverse. It looks like they're still viewing her. I, of course, can't go up there. There's a property. But she's most likely going to be heading in that direction. I love viewing leopards. They're just so cool to watch. So she's headed off. Looks like the other vehicle is following up. Just wondering, you know, maybe if I follow the drainage, she'll come back down the drainage line. Let's just stop here for a second. I think it's worth the wait. She might have crossed off away from our property now, but if we just sit in the drainage line for a little bit, potentially she might come back down and we'll get to view her in the drainage line, or she might just climb a tree and we could view her lying up in a tree. So it's quite nice to have her just her head behind the tree there. She was biting something that was going on around her. I can't see her at the moment. She doesn't seem to be, she's in that thicket there somewhere. So Sarah was saying that she could potentially look quite pregnant. I quite agree with you. She did look quite large, but she also could have been quite full. So it's either that, you know, it's either that she's quite full or that she could be quite pregnant. And this is a nice, beautiful drainage line coming across her. And this marks the border of Arathusa, and I think it's different plains over there. So you have to be careful. I'll show you on the map while we're waiting and what just happened. So if you have a look on the map, we came across here. That's where we were with the Kudus, and then we went to see Span, and then she's now crossed over into this area. So she's left us to go into this area over here. Awesome. So let's link through to Brent to see how Brent's doing on the other side. Hopefully our beautiful female leopard might make its way back down into the drainage line. It's been awesome.
So we have not moved an inch from the spot where we were sitting, and patience often pays off. And one of my mantras out here in the bush, and with some very careful spotting, we have found the mystery animal. Now, can you believe that? There are 2 cheetah there. Wium has cooked up some digital zoom. There we go, a little bit of movement. There we go, head up. So there we go, 2 male cheetah. Definitely not the best visual we've ever had of cheetah, but we are going to keep sitting here in the hope that the closest water is just behind us. Well, we won't sit here for too much longer, but we will give them a little bit longer to maybe get moving. And there we go, eventually managed to make them out lying in the road. And that's what made it so difficult for them to see, is they looked the same color as the road. So fingers crossed they do head back up to the north where we are. So I think what we'll do is we're going to go do a little drive, go have a look around Cheetah Plains Pan, and then maybe come check just before dark to see if they're on their way up here. But it is still a cheetah, as Wium says. We did spot them. It took us quite a while. The vehicle even drove off and it was still sitting there. There must be something there. And then the one cheetah just stood up and walked, and so fortunately we were able to spot them like that. You know what, might be heading towards the Cheetah Plains Pan for an evening drink, so always worth going to have a squiz. Could be a nice big herd of buffalo, could be some elephants, could be a lion. So Genevieve in New York would like to know if certain circumstances will increase allo grooming in lions, particularly lioness, and those circumstances being sort of pride takeovers, new coalition males, pregnancy, etc. Not really. Allo grooming is a very important part of a lion's life, and they do it constantly. So I don't think those particular instances would increase it dramatically. Or if any, or noticeably, probably is the correct answer. But and it is possible, but I wouldn't say so. So this is the closest water around for those cheetah, the Cheetah Plains Pan. Nothing else here at the moment. So, cheetah are quite an interesting species. They are one of the endangered species. Probably around 10 to 12,000 left in the wild. And James Richard is wondering that even with the best conservation practice going forward, the species is still doomed. Probably. So, cheetah hit a genetic bottleneck about 10,000 years ago. Oh, sorry, I just saw a bird there. Oh. There we go, little lesser black-winged lapwing, or a new name, Senegal lapwing. Really do like the short grasses. A little bit quieter than their crowned counterparts. They're pretty little guys. Right, sorry, James, back to your question. So what happened is cheetah, without any adverse attacks by humans and loss of habitats about 10,000 years ago, hit a genetic bottleneck where there are probably less than 100 animals left. So you can take a skin graft from a cheetah in South Africa and pop it on one from the Sudan or from Tanzania, and it immediately takes. So there's very little genetic variety. They're all very heavily related. Now, one of the biggest problems with this is when a disease comes through, there's not a lot of defense against that disease. So strange enough, with people, with human beings, you will generally try pick a mate without even thinking, subconsciously, that has different genetic immunities than what you do. So who's less resistant to, or more resistant to certain strains of colds, flus, it doesn't really matter. Whereas cheetah, because there's so little genetic diversity between the individuals, if there was to be an outbreak disease, there's almost none of them that will hold sort of immunity to that. So they're all immune to the same diseases. So if a new disease had to jump, they would be in serious trouble. And there probably are just going to be another failed arm on evolution's tree, just like the saber-toothed cats and giant hyenas. Wow! This is the biggest herd of impala I have ever seen on cheetah plains. Not quite as spectacular as the quarantine crew, but a lovely big herd nonetheless. And those wildebeest we saw earlier have also moved through to join them. Oh, excuse me. There we go. Now, we don't want to be too far away from those cheetah for too long at this time of the day. It is the crepuscular hunter's hour. Now, Anne's asking if there was no water there, how far would cheetah travel to find some? They can cover big distance to get water. Cheetah are quite adept at living in very arid areas, and they do well in the semi-deserts and deserts. So they can travel 20 kilometers, 25, 30 kilometers, 50 kilometers if they needed to. Of course, in this area, not necessary. There's quite a bit of water around. Monty's wondering when exactly is the rainy season. Well, we didn't have much of one this year, Monty, but generally from November through to early May. With peaks generally in December and February, but this year we had very, very little rain over that period. it threatened a lot, but it never materialized. Well, Debbie would like to know, are jackals also crepuscular? For those of you who are not sure what crepuscular means, it means active at dusk and dawn. You could say they're crepuscular moving into nocturnal. They will be active throughout the night, whether it's animals like cheetah and wild dog tend to be most active and do a lot of their hunting at this time of the day and at dawn. Here's the rest of the wildebeest. And there's Gnormless. Hello, Gnormless. Done well for yourself today? Got some girls? Clever boy. And you can see that little wound on his shoulder there. That's how we know it's Gnormless. And yeah, James said I must be missing my friend Gnormless. And well, it looks like Gnormless wasn't missing me. He's got a whole bunch of his own company. Oh, excuse me. Okay, we're heading back up to the high ground where we could go. We should be able to see them if they haven't moved. If they have, I'll have to keep a sharp lookout. To the right slightly, Wium. They're still there. They haven't moved an inch. So they still look like they've got quite full bellies, so unlikely to move, but we'll definitely come back and have a look for them bright and early tomorrow morning. Sorry, just want to listen to the game drive there for a second. Just trying to get an update about, there was a Birmingham boy on Nkoro. I'm just listening to see if he's up and moving just yet. So boundary patrol got cut a bit short today. We didn't make it the full way round, but we did get sidetracked by some wonderful elephants and buffalo, and of course the pixelated cheetah in the distance. Temperature's starting to drop quite quickly now. Might be nearly time for the jackets. Leah is 9 years old. Welcome on safari with us, Leah. Leah would like to know, how long can a Cape buffalo live for? Well, Leah, you're 9 years old. They don't live much longer than that. No, a big buffalo bull normally lives to about 15 as a very old buffalo bull, but they normally get caught by lions when they're a bit younger. So about 15 is very old for a buffalo. So don't live nearly as long as we do. Slowly meander towards 3 in a row pad. Virginia Miller would like to know whether it's normal for male cheetah to be together like those two. It is very normal if they were from the same litter. Cheetah coalitions are always directly related animals. So unlike a male lion coalition that can be made up of unrelated males who band together to control a bigger area, cheetah are always related, and there was always one more dominant than the other. And one will do the mating and the other won't. The other will still defend the home range and territory against other males, because if his brother is mating, it's still passing down the same genetic code as him, or very similar at least. And with cheetah having very little genetic diversity, it probably doesn't make too much difference. So we're going to start slowly making our way back towards the west. See what else is out there this evening. Not quite dark enough for the spotlights just yet. The reason I've got the headlights on is in case we spot any tracks. Kathy Ward is wondering, what happens to the bush babies during the day? We only see them in the trees at night. Well, Kathy, they are nocturnal, so they only really come out at night. During the day, they sleep in little nests that they make in hollows in the trees. I'm just going to pop my scarf on. It's getting a bit chilly. There we go. Not much happening there. Just get my spotlight ready for when we need it. Always amazes me how these cables manage to catch every radio cable, every other cable that's around. There we go. So Tony would like to know, are there ever any incidents of lightning starting wildfires? There are, but very unusual. If that's going to happen, it's generally going to be in November with the first rains when the bush is still very dry. But I think this year, because of the drought, there's going to be no grass to burn, so you don't really have to worry about a wildfire, in this area at least. So I heard 3 in a row pan is now dry, but that doesn't mean it still won't be a nice thoroughfare for a lot of animals. It's on a main a lot of main paths for the animals to walk down, so always worth having a squiz. Go. Now I'll just check it out. Ooh, there's my other radio. I need my other radio. So confirm it's going to cross into CP and down. Copy, thanks. Will there be visual from the boundary? Copy, thanks. So that Birmingham's on the move. So let's go have a look. See if we can catch a glimpse of him. So we did check through that area earlier today, but that lion was lying up quite far to the north where we couldn't see him from the boundary. KP in Tennessee is wondering why we haven't visited any of the hyena dens on Arathusa. Well, KP, because there are none. And the huge clan that they see, that clan is on Elephant Plains, but Arathusa has traverse there. We do not. That's why we haven't visited that hyena den. So it's outside of our traverse area. Arathusa can drive there, but we cannot. But on Arathusa itself, there are no active hyena dens. Getting a bit nippy. definitely nearly time to put the big jacket on. So we're on our way to try see one of those Birmingham boys. We slowly mobile south towards the Cheetah Plains boundary. So hopefully he pops out. And while we're on our way there, looking for bush babies, nightjars, owls, any other nocturnal critters, genets, civets, serval, caracal that might pop out. I think it's still a little bit early in the evening for a lot of those creatures. They like it to be properly dark. Oh, there's a nightjar. Oh, he's off. So we don't shine the spotlight on diurnal animals, that's why I turned my lights off. There was Kudu crossing the road. The reason for this is that you can temporarily blind them with a spotlight, and we don't want to give the predators a better chance or the prey a better chance. So that's why if we are following a predator hunting at night, we just kill all the lights. Copy, thanks very much. Whereabouts on Kalkol? How far from the beginning of CP Open? Copy, thank you very much. There we go. There he is. One of the Birmingham boys walking across the open plains. Being snorted at by what sounds like some Impala. Difficult to see which Birmingham boy from this distance. Heading straight towards us.
There you go, Brent. I told you.
What did you tell me?
Cheetah and lion.
Oh, we've seen cheetah and lion.
Okay.
There he is. He's probably heading straight towards the Cheetah Plains pan for a drink. Hopefully for the cheetah they decide they only want to drink later. There you go, scent mark on its way. on his nightly patrol. I know that, as far as I know, the other 3 Birminghams are in Torchwood. Oh. Coming straight to us. Oh, you oncoming? Hello. Have you heard anything from Final Control? Me, actually, I'm a bit worried there. I haven't heard anything for ages. Can you hear that? I can't hear anything.
I know they're there.
I've got nothing.
Okay, they're coming through now.
Okay. So, Wium, you're going to have to tell me if they are talking to us, because I have no comms and I can't tell you why.
They're just saying they like watching the lion.
I'm all plugged in. So it seems like I've lost all communication at the moment, so bear with me for a second while I try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, some gala, some are calling.
This side?
This one.
I saw lots of makote just east of Cheetah Plains, Kaya.
I don't know, maybe my father did Baba something there.
So he's gone off. It said while we were talking and I was trying to figure out what was going on with my communication, on how you see he heard lions calling a little bit further to the west, and the male has changed his mind and he's heading straight off into the bush. It's really thick in here. But we'll see what we can do. Oh, it seems like I have got my communications back. Had a beep. Miss Lobo Bob would like to know, how do I know it is a Birmingham boy? Well, just because of where we are. This is their territory, and he was seen earlier today, and I did hear them call in on the radio that it was a Birmingham boy. Getting a bit thick, I need to find a way through. Yeah. Oh, bush baby. Got him, Wium? There you go, a little bush baby tail sticking through the bush there. Hey, little guy. We're looking for lions though, sorry. Try to find a way through here. How are you doing?
Yeah, okay.
across the next road, going straight through the bush again. Is that buffalo walking straight towards him? They look like there's a clump of vinyari just in front of him. So, let me just turn off the lights quickly. I think I heard and saw some buffalo just in front of him. They were walking straight towards him. We just got to keep really quiet and listen. He's probably about 30 meters from the buffalo. Maybe that's what he heard that made him change his direction. Here he is, he's coming around towards us here. I just saw a bit of movement to my right. So he's just behind the spotlight here. The buffalo are just beyond. It did look like he could definitely eat. Now the patience game starts again. So we do apologize about the dark screen, but we don't want to interfere in the hunt. So at the moment I'm sitting looking in the dark with you, but I'm just listening as carefully as possible, waiting for that initial rush and that stampeding of buffalo, and then we're going to be listening for that distress call of a buffalo with a lion on its bottom. Almost taste the anticipation in the air. The wind's picking up. That's really good for him. The strong winds just started. Doodles and Larry would like to know, could a solitary male lion take down a buffalo? Most definitely. More than capable, more than strong enough. strong wind's going to just aid him. It's just picked up now. One of those things, waiting at night. You never really know what's going to happen, and you lose your eyes, so your other senses become extremely heightened. But we're probably going to wait a little bit longer. We'll extend for a little bit just to listen. Have a quick squeeze. Last time I saw him, he was around there. But now it's the waiting game. You gotta try. Try to figure out what's going on with your ears. I think the other vehicle can see him because they just popped their spotlight down again. So they might be able to see him. Or not. We'll see now. You can still hear the buffalo up ahead of us. Maybe he's done a big loop like that to come round. So we have extended. We're going to wait a few more minutes. Just listen carefully. Just waiting to hear that thundering of buffalo hooves. Difficult with this wind now and all the dry leaves rustling. So the buffalo about 60 meters away, just from what I can hear. No idea where the male lion is. Now, if he's heard the females already make a kill or something like that, he might just bypass the buffalo herd. You never know. That's one of the tricky things about following at night without night vision. Yeah. Just waiting for that sound like an avalanche of buffalo stampeding. Yeah, the buffalo. Ooh, I can see buffalo right here. And the last place I saw the lion was right here. So maybe he's really close. I think it's worth being a little bit patient and ask Wium to show you the pretty sky so I can concentrate on listening. once we hear that stampede, it's pandemonium. Buffalo sound like they're moving further away. The thing is, we have no idea where that line is now. Buffalo sound like they're quite far now. The last place we saw that line was just slinking off. Sounds like quite a big herd of buffaloes. There still could be more. Oh, it's one of those things about being in the bush. Quite a lot of it's a waiting game. Move a little bit. With the lights off. Just have a quick flash with the spotlight every now and then. See if we can see anything. So we're going to try for another couple of minutes. I think we might have to call it. He might have just skipped around. All we're doing is moving closer to where the buffalo might be because we can hear them. Somewhere out there that male lion is. Where is anyone's guess at the moment? Let's pitch back up there, and there's this wind starting, which would be really good for him if he is hunting. I wonder if he's confused us all and decided to. Nah, he's not interested in the buffalo. He knows where a free meal is. It's amazing when you take away your sight how your other senses just become so much more heightened. Every little rustle of a leaf. I think he's done a dirty on us. What do you think, Wium? I think he's gone round. He's heading towards the lionesses.
He's getting some supper from the ladies soon.
I think that's what he's going to do. So, well, thanks very much for joining us on this sunset safari. 3 big cats, not too bad, although the cheetah sighting was at a bit of a distance. But I'll definitely be coming back down here tomorrow morning to follow up on both of these creatures, the cheetahs and the lions. But from Wium and myself, it's been exciting. Wium and I always love finding big cats and love having you on the back, and thanks for all the questions. But we're a long way from home, so we're going to start heading home and see you in a few short hours for the sunrise safari.